Welcome back, Sebastian here. So today I'm going to be doing my review for the Formula 2 Saudi Arabian sprint race. Now, it started with Aaron on pole, with Verschoor starting in second. Of course, there was no Oliver Bearman, as he is going to be competing in the F1 race with Ferrari this weekend. A very sudden turn of events. And of course, while this probably isn't being discussed that much in the short term, one that I think will have implications on the championship challenge. So the start was delayed by 10 minutes. I'm not sure exactly why. But when we did get going, it was a really poor start from Antonelli, starting in 5th place. He fell all the way down to 12th place, basically, in the opening corners. For Martins, his really bad start to the season continues as he made contact with Dennis Hauger and he was stopped in Sector 1, so he was out of the race in the opening corners. O'Sullivan and Colapinto both stalled on the grid, so I don't know what Mechachrome decided to have against the Williams Driver Academy this weekend, but yeah, both drivers stalled on the grid and they basically had to get wheeled to the pit lane to start from there. And we had a safety car to deal with those two cars, plus Martin's stricken car as well. In turn 2, Crawford got tapped by Antonelli. It was a very small contact. It was under investigation, but stewards decided that there would be no further action. I kind of agree with that. It was very small contact, and yeah, I don't think Crawford lost any positions because of it. Now, after that kind of chaotic start, Aaron stays in first. Of course, the rookie starting from his first pole. Of course, this is reverse grid pole. Lap 5, the safety car ends. Pretty clean restart. Not a whole lot happens there. But a couple laps later, drivers are starting to try to make moves. Verschoor has a look on the inside of turn 1 to try to take the lead of the race, but isn't able to make the move stick. And there's a bit of a train forming behind Aaron, so suggesting that maybe his pace in the opening laps of the race wasn't exactly the fastest in the field. Now lap 8, we have a change for the lead. Verschoor overtakes Aaron at turn 1 for P1. And at that same corner, that same lap, Fittipaldi overtook Miney for P5, and Maloney overtook Marti for P7. Lap 10, Hauger overtook Hadjar, easy for me to say. P3 at turn 1, and then Cordial was stopped on track at basically the apex of sector 2 or turn 2. It was a very strange spin. He basically looked like he was going to take the corner to do turn 2 like the normal line everyone else does, and then suddenly the back of the car just kind of stepped out completely, and he basically was stopped on track and they had to wheel him away. I suspect it was a Mechachrome moment. The engine basically just cut out mid-corner, and often when it does that, the engine cutting out mid-corner will just cause the car to spin completely around, and the driver has very little control. That's why I suspect happened. Otherwise, he could have just made a clumsy error and then just stalled it, which unfortunately these F2 cars are prone to doing. We have a safety car to deal with that. The following lap, the safety car ends and Maloney overtakes Miney for P6. So really good pace from Maloney, and Miney struggled a bit throughout this entire race. Crawford also overtook Marti for P9. Lap 14, Crawford overtook Miney for P7 at turn 27, so the only move of the race that I caught that was not at turn 1, and then Fittipaldi overtook Hadjar for P4 on the first corner. Lap 15, Maloney tries to overtake Hadjar, but then he goes into the runoff area, and he of course is forced to give the place back if he does not want to get a penalty. Antonelli then overtakes Stanek for P10, so he's up into the top 10, not the point yet. But lap 16, he starts making moves again. He overtakes Marti for P9. Lap 17, Correa was out of the race. He clipped the wall at turn 22, and there was a bit of debris, I think basically like part of the front wing end plate that was on track after that. So we had a virtual safety car to deal with that. Very, very quick. I don't even think it was a full lap there. Lap 18, Hauger overtakes Aaron for P2 at turn 1. The rookie Aaron trying to stay in the top 2, but unfortunately to no avail. And then Antonelli overtakes Miney for P8, so moves his way up into the points. Lap 19, in basically very quick succession, Maloney overtakes Hadjar for P5, and then Crawford overtakes him for P6. And he was basically driving very, very slow, and then he just goes straight into the pits. So I think it was a mechanical issue. Didn't see a replay or anything where he made contact with the wall. If so, it would be very unfortunate. Of course, he was kind of taken out the opening corner of the feature race in Bahrain, and then of course this from pretty good points position. So not a great start to the year for Hadjar. But lap 20, Bashir takes the checkered flag, wins his first race of the year. Of course, won quite a few races last year. But this year he's driving for a Trident, which is historically one of the weakest teams in Formula 2. Of course, we have brand new cars this year, so it's hard to say how strong that Trident actually is. But really good for him and a really decent result for sure. So your result from the sprint race of the Saudi Arabian F2 round. For sure, first, second, Hadjar, Aaron, third, rounding out the podium. Fourth, Fittipaldi, fifth, Maloney, sixth, Crawford, seventh, Antonelli, eighth, Marti, ninth, Miney, 10th, Stanek, 11th, Durskin, 12th, Bortolato, 13th, Colapinto, 14th, Miata, 15th, Barnard, 16th, Phil Gomez, and then your DNFs are Hadjar, O'Sullivan, Correa, Cordial, and Martins, and of course Behrman did not start. Now, looking at the championship, quite interesting. I think very different than many people would have expected after 3 races. Maloney, adds to his lead, 40 points there. Aaron is now second. I don't know who has the tiebreaker, but yeah, Aaron and Marti, 2 rookies, tied at 25. So Maloney has a 15-point lead on them. Bortolato in 4th with 15. O'Sullivan 5th with 14. Hauger 14th with 14. Crawford 11th and 7th, 8th is for sure with those 10 points from today. 9th, Colapinto with 8 points. 10th, Miney with 6. 11th, Hadjar and Fittipaldi with 5 points. Yeah, Fittipaldi I'm just putting in 12th. 13th, Antonelli with 3 points, and then Miata with 14th with 2 points. And then that leaves Durskin, Martins, Villa, Gomez, Cordial, Correa, Stanek, Behrman, Barnard, and Cordial all on 0 points. Of course, Behrman, actually no, that is incorrect. Behrman has, I believe Behrman should have 3 points from pole position. So actually, yeah, Behrman will be tied up with Antonelli. I'm pretty sure he keeps his points for pole position even though he's not in the race. That's something I would need to check. But yes, Behrman, so Behrman 3 points but none in the race. And then of course Martins no points either. So 2 guys that were basically considered to be the favorites for the title. Very few points between them, and then Maloney has 40. So that's going to be a massive deficit to overturn. Of course for Behrman, no points today, no points tomorrow because you're not allowed to do F2 and F1. He could have, but reality is the rules say you're not allowed to. So yeah, that's going to be a massive deficit in the championship right there. I'm sure all of the parties involved, Ferrari, Haas, where he could potentially be in F1 next year, we'll probably take that into consideration. But yeah, a bit of an interesting twist in the championship so far. So thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.